Say it again.
Where does this win rank for you personally?
Shoot, since I've been here, it's one of my favorite wins since we've been here. Those guys have a history. We have a history of going back and forth with those guys, and we beat them last year, and we wanted to keep the tradition of keep beating them, and that's what we did tonight. And it was just a fun experience just to see not just the fans but the guys on the team come together and get stronger throughout the game and celebrate a tremendous win like this. And it's just only going to give us momentum going into the next couple weeks.
You guys have a lot of possessions get into their territory, but then end. How do you guys avoid getting frustrated and keep the patience till when you guys can actually score later?
Yes, football's a tough game, especially when you get into the high red area, low red area, and the goal line. Those guys had a good defense. They had a very tough defense. They had some athletic guys on that side of the ball, and those guys were very talented. Football's not an easy game, and we know that. But going into those times where we're not getting into the end zone, it can be frustrating. But this team does a good job in just not letting that get to our heads and just keep fighting and knowing that possibly when the next drive comes, we could score a touchdown.
Tyler, saw you were one of the last guys off the field. What was the experience like out there?
Man, I was trying to get back to the locker room, celebrate my teammates, but I'm getting a bunch of head taps to the head and about to fall over. But it was a fun experience, interacting with the fans, getting a couple pictures with them, and just celebrating with them as well. And then once I got back to the locker room, it's just an unbelievable feeling just to see those guys just all come together and celebrate a big win like this, because this win means a lot for us.
What was the celebration like in the locker room?
A bunch of jumping, music going, dancing with the recruits. Just a fun experience, A lot of guys it's just a moment that nobody else can feel unless you're in athletics, period. It's just an unbelievable feeling and I wish you guys could feel it as well. So it's just fun.
Tyler, how much has this offense grown over the past couple of weeks? So much has been said about the defense, but how much has this offense really learned about itself and grown over the first couple of weeks?
I'll say that our offense has tough games here and there. Sometimes we may not be the most consistent, but this team always knows what we have and the potential we have to be the best offense in the country or maybe the nation. So we just each and every week we just go into every week knowing that we could do anything on that field to score touchdowns and uplift the energy on this team. So that's really been our focus each and every week, and not letting it get to ourselves and allowing us not to be able to make those plays or have the potential to go score touchdowns and win a game.
There was a moment early in the game where you made a long run, you got a little emotional saying, kind of give me the ball, and the team did that. I think this might have been your season high in carries. What does it feel like to know that the offense has that much trust in you to continue to push you forward?
It's amazing, I think every player would like a coach or even your teammates to have trust in you. If your teammates or your coaches don't have trust in you, then they're not going to put you on the field. So it's a good feeling to know that those guys trust me with the ball in my hands, and the guys up front are going to do everything they can to open up holes for us. But all in all, I'm always emotional throughout the game. I'm always going to be the most lit guy out there. The game always going to be fun for me, and no matter if I have the ball in my hands or not, I'm always going to celebrate if I make a play, or I'm going to celebrate when my teammates make a play.
Spencer's had a couple of really big throws in the last couple of weeks. Sometimes it takes most of the game, but tonight he had a couple as well.
Yes.
What's kind of your level of faith in him, and how maybe you've seen him make those big plays?
Yes, I've always had faith in Spence, 100% faith, 100% trust, and I think the whole offense feels the same way. That guy has improved tremendously, and I told you guys last week that he looks more comfortable in the pocket and he's dialed in. And if you guys just seen the way he prepares each and every day, then there's no question why he's making these throws on game days, because he just does the little things right and he prepares himself in practice. And once you do well in practice, the game, you're going to do well in the game. So he does a good job in preparing for and getting ready to go for practice, and that's where it starts.
1 for 9 after the first quarter has been picked off. Why does he not fold? Why does he not change?
It's football. Like I said, football is not an easy game. It's part of the game. You're not always going to have your best game, and Spence knows that. It doesn't matter if you play quarterback, running back, receiver, DB, or whatever position on the field. You're not always going to have your best game, and Spence knows that. And so it's all about him not getting in his head, and our teammates do our best to not let himself get in his head, and we're going to uplift him knowing that you're still a good quarterback for us, and we need you to win this game. So that's pretty much it. Spence is always going to keep fighting throughout the game and get stronger.
Tyler, you mentioned being the most emotional player out there on the field, but Kirk tends to be an emotional guy in the locker room. Did you get in there in time to see him crying? What's it like when that happens?
I didn't get in time. By the time I got in there, we singing the fight song. Just because all the fans, I got caught in the middle, falling down on the ground and stuff. But he does tend to get emotional, and I love it about him. You know, it just shows that he cares about not just winning. He cares about us. He cares about this team and the guys the guys he brought to come play here. It's just a great feeling to see and know. And me knowing that I have a coach that cares about us, it just makes me want to go to war for him even more.
What's the mindset like when you fall behind their 17-3?
Say it again.
What's the mindset like when you fall behind their 17-3?
You know, no team wants to be behind 17-3 in the first half. It's not a good feeling, obviously, but you just have to maintain focus and going into the next possession and the next drive, knowing that we still have a chance to come back in this game, and that was our mentality. You know, coming into the locker room, we always said the game's 0-0 because we still have 30 minutes left. It's a 60-minute ball game, and that's our mentality, and we're always going to keep fighting and fighting, and we did, and the outcome showed that we always kept fighting, got stronger throughout the game.
Great, thank you, Tyler.
Appreciate you.
Coach Fanatics next.
5 years of high school. Remember,
Place to start.
yeah, all I wanted to do was play big-time football like this my whole entire life. And I remember talking to Coach O'Keefe when he was still with the Dolphins. Coach O'Keefe went to the same high school as I did, which is pretty crazy. And one day in my 5th year of high school, he gave me the call, and I packed up my stuff at prep school, and I flew out here 3 days later, and here I am.
What was it like getting that catch?
I don't know. It was a crazy feeling, really. I mean, the fans today were on another level. I've never seen anything like it. It was rowdy, and I will truly never forget what today was like. It was mind-blowing, really.
What was the coverage on that game winner?
We don't really have a name for the route. It was just like rolling out one way, and hopefully they take the bait. And the guy took the bait, and Spencer made a perfect throw, and the line blocked extra hard, and Keegan ran his guy off. That's the beauty of it. Everybody just has to do their part. I get the spotlight for this play, but without everyone else, it wouldn't have happened. Just like if the defense didn't get a 3-and-out, and if Torrey didn't punt it down to the 2-yard line. Which is awesome about our team. We all rely on each other so much, and we're pretty solid everywhere, and that's why we're pretty good.
Nico,
You
I've
know,
heard you say
Spencer
that
can
before.
really
But
throw some nice balls on, as far as the 20-plus on the sidelines, both sides. You got one a couple weeks ago. What made him so effective on that route, and that you've worked with him, and then just specifically to that play, because he's going from one hash to the other and trying to throw you over?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows Spencer has a pretty strong arm. He's making crazy throws every single week, and at practice we ran this play, and he threw the ball like 70 yards down the field, which was pretty wild. Put the ball on a line straight to me, so that's what we see it every single day. Huh?
What day was that?
I don't know. It's been a pretty long week, so either Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah.
Nico, I've heard you say that before about all you wanted to do was come play big-time football, big-time football.
Yeah.
This is as big-time as it can really get. Have you been soaking that in, and what was the moment when you realized you guys had just won the biggest big-time football game you've been a part of?
Yeah, this was like the biggest of the big time, which was pretty awesome. I mean, you don't get moments like this every single day, and just taking advantage of the opportunity. And it was a mentally draining game for sure, and physically draining, but we came out on top, and we fought for it, and we deserved it.
This team has been opportunistic all season. That's what's defined you guys. And
Yeah.
this is a defining performance for your complimentary football. How does it feel I mean, the win defines the season in terms of the quality of the win, but also the way that you guys played. How proud are you of playing Iowa's way to get this win?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, today, like, sitting on the sideline, I was so emotionally drained and just, like, screaming for the defense so much. Like, I truly almost teared up a little bit out there, just, like, because we all care about each other so much. It's the beauty of our team. I think we all really want each other to succeed, and we all trust each other so much, and, yeah.
How far do you think you guys can take this? Like, does it feel like you guys are on the cusp of something truly unique and special at Iowa?
I mean, we know we have something special here, but we take it day by day. Just like we're gonna enjoy the win for the next 24 hours, but after we watch the film tomorrow, it's straight to business, and that's how we've been every single week, and that's the way we're gonna continue to do it. and on Monday we'll get to work on Purdue.
Do you ever get amazed by what your defense is able to do after, 4 interceptions this week, 6 the last?
Every single game. We go against them all the time. We faced them in camp, and it made us better, definitely. It's like the best defense we'll play all year because they're so good all around. And every time they go out there, every time they throw the pass, I truly believe that it's going to be an interception. And that's the trust that I have in them, and so does the rest of the team.
You've been called slot receiver, short yardage receiver. Do you feel like they should come up with a new term for you now?
It's whatever people could say what they want to say. And as long as we keep winning, I'll be happy.
Would you walk out the field? Maybe dumb question, but 5 years, is that prep school thing in high school? Or?
So I graduated high school, and then all my friends went to college, and then if you go to a prep school, it's a big thing in the Northeast. You get to repeat a year. So you could do 4 years at a prep school. Like I could go to my high school freshman year and then go to the prep school and just repeat a year. You just repeat the year.
I know you guys wanted to run that play, practiced it, but did you think you'd have that chance as the game was going on? Because it was later in the game. Do you guys think you guys would still be able to run it?
I was thinking about it all game, for sure. I was hoping that he would call it, and he called it, and we pulled through and got the play.
Is that set up by first quarter? I think you run a similar kind of rollout with Spencer, a couple levels there. Is that set up by that maybe earlier in the game, you leaking off that backside and kind of breaking that flow?
That's a question for Coach Brian. That's a little over my head. I just run the play that they tell me to run. Yeah.
Thanks, Nico.
Logan, have you ever heard Kinnick Stadium louder than that today?
I've never been a part of something like that. That was a great experience, just having all the fans come out. That's the loudest experience I've ever had in my entire life, so it's pretty cool opportunity.
It's one thing to listen to that kind of noise and be a spectator. It's another thing to be on the competitive field. How does that motivate you guys?
It's really cool having that big of a backing. 70,000 people are there just to support you, and they had a huge impact on the game. They helped force a lot of penalties, and that was a big part of the game.
What's it like when you have the field rushing there in terms of just tactically getting around?
That was a really cool experience. Like I said, I haven't been a part of something like that before, so just to be in the middle of that, it's kind of chaos, but won't forget something like that.
When false starts, how much of that was you guys, and how much of that was the fans?
I think credit should be shared there, but the fans really made a big difference, and I think that they really helped force a lot of those false starts. So.
How did the game change from your perspective when obviously the quarterback switch happened and went with the younger guy?
It definitely changed more to a rushing offense for Penn State for us. We expected them to continue to rush the ball. I think number 2 had 7 passes on the season, so we were pretty comfortable just forcing him to continue to rush the ball and force him to 3rd and long.
Logan, how did you know that he only had 7 passes on the season? Was that made known before the game?
We talked about that at halftime. Our coaches let us know that he's gonna try to run the ball. So.
At a point in the game when you guys got behind by 2 scores, that the defense felt like it was in your hands to kind of hold them and get you guys back into it?
Yeah, nothing really changes for us. Our mindset's always just to go out and get a stop. It's a 4-quarter game. What was it? Beginning of the 2nd quarter, they scored the 2nd touchdown. We're staying composed. We're not really concerned about what's going to happen in the future because we know we'll be able to stop them in the future.
You guys have done some historic things with takeaways. What's the biggest element that's contributed to that now seemingly week after week?
Just everybody being in the right position, everybody doing their job. If everybody's just doing what we're told to do, and the coach is developing a great game plan, and we run that and execute it well, sky's the limit for us, and we're going to continue to force those turnovers.
Do you want offenses to take those shots? I mean, because of the way you guys are playing, do you want to see that when they throw deep?
Yeah, of course. I think it really gives a great opportunity for our DBs to get underneath the ball. So whatever we can up front, we can put pressure on the quarterback and force him to make a throw off his back foot. That's always our goal.
How big is it when Torrey can pin teams deep inside the 10 like that and let you guys kind of pin the ears back and get after it.
Yeah, Torrey had a great game. The Gunners really did a great job just getting to the ball and making sure it didn't go into the end zone. And that was definitely a huge part of the game. That really set us up for great opportunities to put the offense in good field position.
How comfortable are you guys in games like that, where it's, it's physical? It's going to come down to a couple defensive stops and special teams and punt coverage.
Yeah, we're always very confident in those situations because we practice those situations. We're always high tempo throughout the entire practice, and we know that it's going to take 4 quarters to win a game. If we go down one in the first quarter, we're not too concerned because we know we'll rally in the fourth just because we have the finishing mindset.
Their tempo was really difficult to match, it seemed like, for the first quarter. How were you able to slow it down, and was it just when the quarterback changed that you were able to kind of alter the game?
Yeah, the tempo was a little bit difficult right at the beginning. It was pretty inconsistent, so that was the challenging part. But we just made a couple corrections on the sideline, and we just made sure we were in the right position at the right time. So.
Okay, thank you, Logan. Matt Hankins up next.
What's going on, everybody? Y'all good?
Matt, have you ever heard it be that loud at Kinnick, or where does that rank as far as atmospheres for you?
Shoot, it's up there for sure. Think today or Ohio State 2017, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, you've been a part of 3 now. Crowd rushes. I mean, can you rank them, or is it just now it's so fresh that you got recency bias?
I definitely rank Ohio State, the best one in my freshman year. But it's always exciting when the fans rush and whatnot. But after I always tell the young guys, once you experience the first time, I'll be trying to get off the field as quick as possible and get back in the locker room. So
where were you when the rush happened? Did you get off?
Shoot, I was in the locker room.
Why do you think this keeps happening with the takeaways? I mean, are you guys just expecting it every game, or have you been surprised how you guys are getting these in bunches?
Never surprised. It's the work we put in during the week, playing the zone defense, having eyes on the quarterback, seeing where the ball being thrown, being able to break on the ball. It's just repetitive. We just challenging each other to make plays and get better.
Matt, you know the identity of this team about as well as anybody on the field for the Hawkeyes. Do you feel like this was the ultimate Iowa type of win, the complementary football, the battling back, winning with defense, punting, field position, all those things until, you kind of suffocate the other team?
Yeah, it definitely was. We had adversity in the first half, came in the locker room, talked over the game plan, discussed, changed a few things, came back out and was ready for war.
When you knew you had that different quarterback for the whole second half, what did you say to each other, or your coaches tell you at halftime? And what did you just sense from Penn State from that moment forward?
I mean, they was a little shaky with the new quarterback, false starts and whatnot, but it's football at the end of the day. People go down, and the next person got to step up. So.
Did you say anything to Terry when he went in for Riley?
I said I wasn't worried. I know he was ready for it.
Matt, after you got that interception at the end there, you came down to the other end of the student section to celebrate with the fans and show them the ball. How cool was that moment after that last pick?
It was a great moment. Wish we ain't get no flag, but we won the game, so I guess what it matter right now.
So how long do you guys enjoy this one?
24 hours. Get back to it tomorrow.
Matt, do you guys have a nickname for yourselves yet? Secondary? Anybody get one?
The Doughboys.
Where?
We about that paper. We trying to get to the money. The ball, the money. And as you can see this season, we've been getting to the money.
How helpful is it that special teams make a lot of great plays today?
It's very helpful. Great field position, and the way our defense has been playing, you can't ask for more.
Your quarterback had a tough quarter. I think everybody did on offense, but when the plays were to be made in the second half, he came through. What kind of confidence do you have in Spencer right now and in the offense in general?
I have all the confidence in the world because, like you just said, when it came down to it, he made the plays, and that's what we need. Like Logan said, we first half was iffy the whole team, but fourth quarter we came back and finished. That's all you can do.
You guys talk one game at a time, but this was different, right?
It was nothing different. It's one game at a time, one play at a time, one day at a time. Keep your head where your feet at.
One more from Matt.
Think Coach Parker will let that flag slide?
Most definitely.
Thanks.
Got Jack Kerner.
You get that second interception in that game to deep in the end zone. What did you kind of see on that play, and what did you do to make that play happen?
Yeah, I was just dropping back in coverage, and I saw the receiver pushing me vertical. He made a little move inside. I bit on a little bit, and then I cornered my eye. I saw him break back vertical, so I had to flip my hips, find the ball in the air, and I was able to make a play on the ball. It was a good feeling.
How do you keep putting together games with chunks amount of turnovers? 4 here, obviously.
Yeah, it just goes back to our alignment keys and responsibilities that we play on defense. All the coaches, they prepare us really, really well for what the offense is going to be trying to do to us. And with everybody playing their keys, jamming and sync on receivers, playing ball or playing pass if you're playing pass, and playing the run if you got the run, I mean, the ball will eventually find you if you're doing the job.
I think it took you a while to get off the field tonight. What was that like for you out there?
They were running some up-tempo stuff.
I mean, just off the field, at the end of the game.
Oh, off the field. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I was maybe one of the last ones to get off. But, I mean, I wouldn't trade that feeling for the world, being out there, high-fiving with fans. I remember when I grew up a Hawk fan my whole life, going to Kinnick as a little kid. High-five with so many little kids, screaming "Go Hawks" about 150 times is a moment I'll never forget for sure.
Jack, do you think that Iowa was getting the respect that the number 3 team in the nation should have been getting this week leading up to it? And just as an Iowan yourself and getting this win, what does that just do for you in terms of just the statement and how much pride you have in the program?
Yeah, we definitely feel like this was a statement win. We try not to concern ourselves too much with the outside noise, whether people think we deserve to be this or deserve to be that. But some of that stuff bleeds through a little bit, and this definitely was a great win to kind of make a statement that we're playing well too.
Along those lines, I mean, this is kind of a defining game anytime we play a top 5 matchup. And I mean, you guys won this your way. It was the complementary football. It was the field position battles. It was every inch in it. How much pride do you take in not only getting a win like this, but doing it your way, in your identity?
Yeah, I'm so proud of my teammates. I mean, like you said, all 3 phases, we're really getting after it tonight. And, the fans can think whatever they want about the style of whether we play, but the coaches, they know what they're doing, and they know the strategy that we're trying to implement. And, like you said, complementary football, that's what's winning us games right now. And so I just couldn't be more proud of my teammates for being able to go out there and execute what the coaches were wanting us to do out there.
How was Kirk after the game? I know sometimes you can get emotional. How was the celebration?
Like I said, I was out there for quite a while, so I think I missed the KF little post-game speech, but I was able to shake his hand after, and he was ecstatic, and we were able to share a nice moment there. And I grew up watching KF be the coach my whole life, and he's the man.
When Riley goes down with that injury, what kind of goes through your head in that moment, and what do you say to Terry as he steps in?
Well, it's obviously a tough break for Riley. He's a player that we really want to have out on the field, but the level of concern that we had when he went down was not necessarily high, because we know what Terry's been doing. He's been doing it for the past 3 years, and he's been showing us in practice that he proves that he can play, and obviously he proved that out there tonight. So the level of concern, obviously we were concerned for Riley, but having a guy like Terry that can step in there and do the job just as well is really important, and it was obviously a key to keeping us going.
Yeah, how has your kind of eye discipline or just ability to study quarterbacks changed since you first got here? I know it's a big part of your defense, just being able to keep your eyes on the quarterback instead of just an individual back.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of the whole root of our defense, is just having guys with their eyes back on the quarterback. That's what leads to turnovers and interceptions. But my personal growth, just having Coach Parker and the older guys before me, Monty Hooker, Jake Gervais, that kind of laid the groundwork, taught me how it works and how to be effective in this defense. I've definitely improved over the years, and I couldn't have better role models in my corner to help teach me, and just goes for the whole defense as well.
In your 12-game win streak, only 2 games were by single digits. So it's almost an unusual situation now to be in a game like this. But what was kind of the mindset of the team for you throughout it, even when you're down 17-3? I mean, that's a point where some teams back off, and how did you guys continue to push forward?
Just being able to trust each other, and like I said, trust the teammates and trust all 3 phases that are going to do what they're going to do. And so on the defensive, we just got to go out there and keep getting stops. 17 points isn't that many in the grand scheme of a game and a half. Of course that's a lot, but in the grand scheme of a game, it's not many. So as long as we can keep holding them and force them to punt, force them to get a field goal, give the offense a short field, that's the complementary football that we're trying to play. And So hopefully, a good thing that was able to work out tonight.
Does this feel like a special season, like it could be a special season, or do you even allow yourselves to think like that?
We're thinking every season's going to be a special season, but of course, we're undefeated, and everybody's riding high on us right now. We just got to stay humble and stay focused on what we're going to do, like we were going to do, win or loss.
Last question.
Speaking on Penn State's tempo offense, they had success early on. What were the keys to kind of honing in on the defensive end and slowing it down throughout the game to where at the end they weren't getting many yards?
Yeah, we just needed to understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to get us up tempo. They were trying to get us to set the defense the wrong way and kind of confuse guys' eyes and everything. So just understanding that they were trying to do that, getting to where you needed to get lined up and see the call so we could be lined up fast and they wouldn't catch us in the wrong defense or anything. That was something that was really important because they were catching us on that stuff a little bit earlier. But the coaches just were harping on us that we needed to get set, get our eyes back to the call so that we could execute what the defense that was being called.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jack. Jamie, next.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
A little chippy in the first quarter for you there?
It's a little friendly competition. That's the stuff you love, though. Two great teams going at it.
How much do you embrace that challenge, like what Penn State brings on today, and appreciate what they can do defensively?
Yeah, as a competitor, that's what you love. We knew there was going to be some adversity, and there definitely was. Just being down and stuff like that. But it's a 4-quarter ball game. And just keep pushing, keep attacking them. It's an aggressive defense, great players over there. Just happy we got the win.
Tyler, as a kid who grew up just down the road, rooting for Iowa, what does moments like this mean to you?
Yeah, today was definitely special. It's something we'll remember for the rest of our lives. Maybe we won't remember every single play, but we'll definitely remember just the experience that we had in the locker room, fans on the field. That's the stuff you appreciate, that's the stuff you look forward to in competition. And, I'm just proud of the guys, the way we competed today, the way we fought through adversity. It was a great team win.
How was Kirk in the locker room? What was that like for him?
Yeah, Coach Ferentz was, he was emotional, just like any big win we have. That's the guy that, we love playing for. Whenever you see a coach emotional like that, he's just proud of the guys, proud of how we played and how we pulled through together.
Where were you when they rushed the field? Did you stay out in it for a second or two?
Yeah, that was probably the hardest part about the game, trying to get through that mosh pit. I'm not going to lie. I might have a slight concussion from the amount of times I got hit on the head. Just kidding, don't tell the trainers. But yeah, it was fun. And that's the stuff, like I said, it's number 3 versus number 4. That's the stuff you love. That's the stuff you're going to remember for the rest of your life.
Did the game have a different feel like than you've ever experienced before or not?
That's a good question. I've been a part of a lot of big games. I don't know if anything like this. Just the energy that our fans brought today, was amazing. And then, obviously, the ups and downs, but the fans were with us through the whole game, which is awesome to see.
You were down 17-3 early in the second quarter, and not much was working on any side of the ball, for that matter. How were you able to be patient and put together the drive that was really kind of put you back in the game?
Yeah, finishing up the second quarter, we felt confident. We were getting push up in the line in the run game. We just had to stay at it. We knew our big thing was it's a 4-quarter ball game. 2 quarters down, let's finish. I thought we did a great job, and we pulled through. And it was a great team effort. Defense played their balls off. Torrey did a great job putting us in field position, and it was awesome.
With Tyler Goodson, he's really fighting for a lot of yards out there. What do you ever, when you're watching film, because you're not watching him when he's doing it, but what do you think when you see him make some of the moves he does, even to get a couple of yards sometimes?
Yeah, when you have a special back, I think we have a pretty special running back room. Just a great group of guys, know how to play the game and love playing the game. So whenever you're blocking for guys like that, it's pretty special. And just we got to challenge ourselves as the O-line, knowing that who we have in the backfield, just to keep blocking longer, finishing, and just play more aggressive.
There was probably late third quarter, early fourth, when Goodson began to break runs. Did you sense them getting tired?
Yeah, that's kind of what we preach on. Maybe stuff's not going to happen first, second quarter. Just keep pounding, still being aggressive, get to our blades, and eventually, they're going to get tired. We're going to wear them down. Goodson's going to break tackles and stuff like that. well, that's Iowa football for you, just trying to wear guys down, and it all falls back to the stuff that we did in the winter and the summer conditioning, and just go back to our training and just rely on that.
Tyler, you talked earlier this week about knowing that all these former Hawkeye greats were going to have their eyes in this game, to be watching this, and you knew that. And how great did it feel to you to show them not only that you guys could win this game, but that you could do it the Iowa way? They know about complementary football and how much you guys battle for every inch, and that is ultimately what decided this game.
Yeah, it's awesome that we were able to pull through. I know those guys never had a doubt in their mind throughout the whole game, just because they know what it's like to be Iowa Hawkeye. So, just to be able to come out the win and do it for all the guys that were before you, all the current and former players, it's pretty special to get the win for them as well.
Have you been thinking much about what could be ahead here, a little bit farther down the road, if this could be an extra special team?
Not really. I think we're so dialed in on, that next game after our game. Obviously, we're going to enjoy this game, 24-hour rule. Our focus right now is, we got one more game in that first block, first 7-game stretch, and then we'll have time, to reflect and, maybe see what we have ahead, what we've done. As of right now, we're going to enjoy this 24 hours, and our next game is going to be on Purdue. Purdue beat us last year. They gave us a challenge. We're going to know that going in, but right now we're just going to be focused on, what we did tonight, obviously learn from it in the film, and then, move on to Purdue.
Okay, thanks, Tyler.
Thank you, guys.
Last player will be Tyler Goodson.